DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
It's time for Tuesday Night Live Chat with Brian S. Red and John Young.
Who was Jimi Hendrix's favorite guitar player?
God, you're going to make me think. I was just going to say something mindless into the microphone.
Billy Gibbons. He said Billy Gibbons was the best guitar player he ever heard. When
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. On the Tonight Show. No, I've seen the quote.
He lied.
Jimi Hendrix lied?
No, Jimi Hendrix. His favorite guitar player was actually Terry Kath from Chicago.
Oh, no, he loved Terry Kath too, but he thought Billy Gibbons was the best guitar player he ever saw. He said it.
Oh, he said the same thing about Terry Kath. Two-time prick.
Okay, well, how close are we to, wish you were here videos with the numbers running across the screen? Come on.
Are we live?
We are live.
Crap. Sorry about that.
Just gonna throw that out there that, go. Now we're going to go. Okay. Hey, good evening and welcome, everyone. We are coming to you live here on a Tuesday night. Jay and Brian are back. They did the NAMM thing. They had to come back and recoup and get their game together so we could be back tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're fresh.
All sorts of things we're going to be kind of bouncing through tonight. So this is going to be one of those open night question nights. If you've got a question that you would like the guys to answer intelligently and succinctly, it ain't gonna happen.
Don't ask here.
Yeah, don't ask here. That isn't this show. But if you've got something that you want to hear them riff on for about 10 minutes, a piece.
Yeah.
You got a chance of that one.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay, so we give him 10 minutes. Jay would take 8.5, and then Brian would get the last 90 seconds.
And bitch about it the whole 90 seconds.
And then, yes, he would bitch about how he only had 90 seconds.
Right. That's what I would take my 90 seconds doing, is complaining about it.
And by the way, you brought up the Lady Gaga thing before we went live on air.
Yeah.
I have to make this statement. Next August, when the three of us meet up, eventually at the Irish Pub in AC, the place we will not be going anymore, Scores. They closed Saturday night.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Talked to my cousin. So a glass for the staff at Scores. They've treated us well over the years.
Goodness.
And how did we make that with the Lady Gaga connection?
Because that's Atlantic City, and it was happening on the boardwalk about a block down from Trump.
And a different property. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. See how I went there?
Yeah, so basically there's this...
My way of working a toast into this broadcast.
There's point A and point B, and Jay's method of getting from point A to point B was...
Well, no, John, to correct you real quick, what I do is I take point B, followed by point A, followed by point R, and see how that works out?
Yeah, but it's completely right there.
I'm right to the bar. Did you see where I went?
Woo! That was awesome.
How did all these people get in my room?
Who are these people and why are they bothering me? All right.
Why are they in my hotel?
What's our first topic tonight, John?
So I wanted to talk about a couple of things. First off, and this is really not DJ specifically related, but it's the whole thing. This past week or a couple of days ago, with the Kobe, and a celebrity passes away. Mm-hmm. And you guys have been following this, that people are doing different tributes and different things to that effect. And, up here in Minnesota, we just had a young rapper. She passed away not too terribly long ago. And people basically, in some cases, and for those of you who are big Kobe fans, this is not against Kobe, but that some people just like completely lose their mind when it comes to these celebrities passing away. And I really wanted to get your guys' opinion on this, as far as when a celebrity like Prince, Brian, you and I did the Prince show, and it was kind of when does a celebrity and their passing almost where it becomes we're almost too fixated on that, if you follow me?
I do. I think this is a rare example because I don't recall any athlete dying in the last 10, 20 years that people have really, and I think social media obviously intensifies all emotions, but with Kobe, and I'm only an hour and a half from the Spectrum, Staples Center. Mm-hmm. Kobe played, so LA would be a team I would follow. I think Kobe was in a different air. He just was different. I don't think it's your typical celebrity passing. Celebrities die, and we were just at NAMM, and I'll give you a good example of the exact topic. Neil Peart of Rush, the drummer, died 3 days before NAMM. There was little to no mention of it. I was in the booth at Pioneer DJ. I played YYZ, our big system. I probably had 10 people come up to me and high-five me or fist pump and say, wow, finally somebody's noticing. Mm-hmm. So I think it's, our job as DJs is often to capitalize on a situation or the moment. If it's the holidays, we play holiday music. If somebody passes away, we try to include their music. When Michael Jackson died 11 years ago, that wedding, he died like on a Thursday, I think, or a Wednesday. I just know I had a wedding that Saturday, and I probably played 10 Michael Jackson songs. I think, we can include it if it's musical. If it's not, where do we go? There's nothing, there's no LA Lakers song I can play. I could play I Love LA by Randy Newman, but it's going to get lost in translation. So I think we as a society love to show an outpouring, but we also love to, I'm sorry to say this, we love to do the lemming game. One person runs and we all follow.
Sure.
So do people need to get this? Yeah, but soldiers and teachers and priests and parents and children die every day, and we don't stop what we're doing. So is it against him? No. But should we all stop what we're doing? Probably not. Today was the 34th anniversary of the Challenger explosion. I mean, Brian's old enough, you're old enough. I was 21 when it happened. I remember where I was and how I saw it on TV. When do you let go? Kennedy died 55 years ago, 56 years ago. When do you let go? I don't know. I don't think you ever really let go, but I also don't think you need to stop everything when someone goes.
It depends. I mean, I think, I've seen it. I remember Michael Jackson. I had a gig that next day, and it was a weird one. I was actually DJing for this giant bingo hall with like a couple thousand people in it. I used to do that during the week, like just, afternoons. I remember when in there, I didn't say a word. I just started playing Michael Jackson songs. And I played Michael Jackson songs for 3 hours. And everybody loved it. I didn't say a word the whole time. I just did it. And I thought that was fitting. When Prince died, that would hit hard. Of course, John, you living in Minnesota, I mean, that was very intense there. Mm-hmm. But it was also very intense everywhere, And I actually still get teary-eyed about that stuff. I was just that into it. With the Kobe thing, when it happened, I'll tell you personally what I was thinking about. And I was thinking about everybody I know in Southern California, because I spend time out there, and I know how sacred the Lakers are to California. I live in Milwaukee. We are 2.5 hours away from Green Bay. We are 80 minutes away from Chicago, right? But we're still nutty about Packers here. I don't care. I don't have a horse in that race. I don't do sports, but everybody's Packers here, and they're Packer nuts, and they wear Packer clothing, and they got Packer cars and houses and license plates, and everything's Packers. They're just insane. They wear cheddar heads. I mean, you've seen this on TV. They actually do this. it's the same phenomenon in Southern California with the Lakers. So my heart was with all of my friends out there because I knew they were feeling it. Not being a sports fan, above and beyond that, I didn't really have in anything that I didn't have a game to look back on because I don't watch games, you know. But I get it, and I'm trying to be as respectful as I can about it. When you can't stop everything, like Jay had said, every time something happens. If you do, you get nothing done. If it's an anniversary, if it's a school shooting, if it's a police officer dying, if it's an earthquake, you can't. But as a content provider on YouTube, I have to kind of use my best judgment as to when to just keep my mouth shut and not post anything. And yeah, that was one of those days. Sunday was one of those days where I just bugged out. I let it go. You know?
Yeah. I think too, John, the fact that you go by the age of somebody and then you go by the career. I mean, when Kobe came out of high school and went right to the Lakers, that was really a new thing.
Very much, yeah.
Like everyone. In fact, it may have been the first time I can remember somebody going from high school to the NBA without stopping at college, because that was just the pathway for that sport.
Yeah,
you know,
I think prior
sports,
to
you can skip college. College football is huge. Basketball is huge. Baseball, hockey, you know, there's ways around those two, maybe not as much as football and basketball, but those are pretty safe. I mean, we're coming up on March Madness. Everyone knows what that is. That's the NCAA basketball tournaments where every school's involved and everyone has a dream. But I think Kobe was just different. He was that 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid that just had a dream and a talent and a skill and just went nuts.
Well, here's something interesting, too, now that I'm thinking about it. I remember when Prince died. I mean, obviously I was tuned in. Well, for the most part, I hadn't really paid a lot of attention to what he was doing for many years. But I mean, if something happened, I was following it, you know. What was interesting was people were then discovering him, you know, after this happened, when there was stuff going on. And I remember reading posts on social media where people were saying, I never realized he was that big of a figure. I never realized he played all that stuff. Purple Rain, after that, I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't realize he wrote this song. He did that. Wow, what an amazing guy. And I think it's the same thing with Kobe, where people are like, you mean he was 17 years old when he joined the NBA? He dropped out of high school to do this? I mean, these are the kind of things people are discovering now. So although, yeah, maybe some of this bandwagon stuff is disingenuous, some of this other stuff is just kind of, you know, kind of taking it in and learning things as you go and understanding why these figures were important in the first place. So I rest my case, Your Honor.
Like I said, a lot of it comes down to age. Somebody asked me about Neil Peart, and I said, the reason that we get upset about people like this, because they said, what's the big deal with Rush? I said, well, in high school, and I loved him, and this and this and this. And I said, the other reality is he was 67 years old. I don't think that's very old. So for me...
Well, not anymore.
No, but when rock stars and people in the general public pass away, especially when they're not that much older than you, there's that sense of reality of you're facing your own mortality. I mean, I used to listen to Rush driving a 68 Plymouth down the road and just thinking life could never get better. I remember when, you know, hearing Tom Sawyer for the first time and blasting it through those, you know, what were they? The Jensen Coax 6x9s I had in the back of the Belvedere 2, and just honestly thinking, this is what love must be like. Like that.
Let me segue this, John, if I may.
Yeah.
If I may. It's interesting what Jay brings up about perspective, because, you know, the kids don't know, but he knows. Something that I've talked about on the show before has been a guilty pleasure I've recently acquired of watching reaction videos on YouTube.
Oh, I've gotten into that too lately.
With No Life Shack, and I've discovered some new ones. There's two guys they call themselves Lost in Vegas, and they're very good, and they're Rush fans. They discovered progressive rock relatively recently, and their take on it is amazing. Just, you know, they're into hip hop and modern music, and now they're discovering older stuff. And those are the videos I like to watch. I don't care what, you know, some 18-year-old kid thinks about the new Eminem track. I am very uninterested in that. But what I am interested in, what this 22-year-old person how they feel about a David Bowie track from 1973. That's interesting to me. And there's a new couple that I'm watching, and their name eludes me. It's their last name. It's an Indian couple. Have you seen them, Jay?
They're listening to pop music.
They're listening to everything.
Yeah, I have seen them. I think
pardon?
I think you told me about them.
Yeah, they did Boston's More Than a Feeling.
Yeah,
that was it. That was the video.
And it was really, really good to watch. But sometimes they'll listen to a song and they'll dismiss it, and I'm like, hold on a minute, what are you doing? Like, for instance, I watched a video of them maybe a couple of weeks ago where they did Toto's Africa. Great. And they said, well, we know this is a popular song, so it must be really good. And they listened to it, and it's like, well, lyrically it was kind of redundant and boring, and I didn't get it. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? And then they listened to Toto's I Won't Hold You Back. Now, I got to just stress this. This couple's from Mumbai, India. They're discovering Western music for the first time.
Yeah, it's
so
awesome.
They're listening to it like with fresh ears. And so they did I Won't Hold You Back by Toto. I'm like, well, yeah, Toto, they're not very interesting. And then a few days ago, they did Rosanna. And they're like, oh, okay.
Now they got it.
I got it now.
That's awesome.
This is amazing. So going back to what Jay had said about perspective, this is what people like this couple in Mumbai lack, is perspective. They're diving in and they're listening to, I don't know, it doesn't matter what it is. Like It Won't Hold You Back by Toto, and go, oh, yeah, whatever. But considering this is from the mind of Rosanna, it's like, oh, this, I understand it now. They're that good. It puts it in perspective. And they lack perspective in that regard. So although the reactions are interesting, the perspective is skewed. It's kind of like if the first Beatles song you ever heard was Let It Be, and then somebody played for you Twist and Shout, you'd be like, what the hell is this? No, you started Twist and Shout, and you move towards Let It Be, right?
Well, but Brian, don't you think that's changed with production today? I mean, the old days, you listen to the first album, then the second and the third and the fourth, and you hear everything go forward. You listen to new artists today, like the production of Lizzo's album isn't going to get better on the second one. When I remember like AC/DC and Def Leppard and Aerosmith and Boston.
Okay. Well, okay, but back up a minute. Boston. Okay.
No. I started to say.
Now hold on a second. You know what I'm going to say. I know. That was their first album. Yep. It was one of the best albums of all time. Yep. They never topped it. No one ever topped it.
No, because it took 7 years to make by one guy in his basement in Cambridge.
It set that bar so high within even that realm that no one's topped it. It was time to move on after they did that. Next.
But traditionally, that was the game. The game was you have your whole life to write your first album, then you have 6 months or a year to do your second. It's that freshman, sophomore slump where everyone peters out.
Right.
You're supposed to progress as you go.
Well,
it isn't set up that way. But then again, people are watching us right now who may only own a handful of songs.
Yeah,
they got a hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Enoma is the couple doing the Indian reactions. Gus chimed in. Yeah, they are. I enjoy them. Enoma is their last name, I guess. Enoma.
They're great.
Yeah, I enjoy them. I look every day, but I wrote them a message. I said, look, I enjoy your videos. I enjoy your reactions. I do, however, feel you like perspective. And as a DJ, when I see a song that I know you're going to like, I watch that video and I get excited because I know you're going to like it. I instinctively know this because I've been watching you and I'm programming for you in my head. But if you listen to a song like Circles in the Sand by Belinda Carlisle, I'm not going to watch that video because I know you're not going to like it.
Yep.
I could have told you, do Heaven is a Place on Earth, do a Go-Go's track, do something, not that one, but no one asked me.
Yep.
So I know you're listening to some bunk and you're not going to like it, so it's not worth my time.
All right, so that was one question from John. John, thank you. I want to wish everyone a great night. I think that's all the time we have tonight. Brian and I have taken enough. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Well, guys, we've only got 40 minutes left.
It's 40 minutes too long with this group.
So we had some questions.
Brian, if John ever wants to do like a marathon show, it really won't be anything big.
Yeah.
Hey, like 3 hours.
I haven't done one of those. I mean, the longest one, I think we did a 13-hour marathon to one day.
Brian and I did a offline, 1 hour online, offline for, what was it, Brian? 4 or 5 hours?
Probably. Yeah, and I've done the same thing with Howie. Howie and I used to send John recorded broadcasts that were like 5.5 hours long just for fun.
Yeah, it's like
it was like John wasn't there. There was like 5 of us, including Howie, and it went on for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, it just continued on.
I recorded it.
The next day, Jimmy calls in the next morning. Hey, it's like, oh, you're not moving too quick. It was all night. Brian started pulling albums out and playing music. And
that's awesome.
And talking.
Can you guys hear this? Name the producer.
Shut up.
So, gentlemen, let's talk a little bit of gear.
All right, let's do that.
NAMM, has been through, and depending upon who you're talking to, some people felt it was a really good show gear-wise. Some people were feeling it was a lacking show gear-wise.
Are you saying some manufacturers didn't release any new gear, John?
I'm saying that that's pretty much it. That we're to that point that some of the manufacturers, specifically some lighting companies, spent more time introducing things at LDI. Some companies had no clue of what they were doing there, and that's part of the NAMM experience. That they're there, trying to kill snakes with a toothpick type of thing. And then you've got some of the big companies that are there, and you would think that this would be an opportune time or the situation, and it just didn't happen.
Nope. That's what I heard. I was in one of those booths. I won't say who I was with. It rhymes with Pioneer DJ. And I'm to understand, apparently, as Brian will tell you, John, if you're not aware, NAMM stands for
not available, maybe may.
Yes. So I think now NAMM stands for not available. Maybe we'll launch new stuff later, because I got the same vibe. There were some companies that released a lot of stuff, which can bite you in the ass because you don't want to throw it all on the table at once. But NAMM, as you say, John, has customarily been a show where everyone releases new gear. Well, my 16 years in the working for a company perspective is you have NAMM, you have the spring, usually around Ultra, Miami Music Week in March. You have either early summer where Gear Fest is going on at Sweetwater. You have Expo, and then you have the buying season of October, November. So those are the times when gear traditionally will come out. And off the record perspective, a lot of times gear is released against when you can have it made. Mm-hmm. So it's very easy to say, why aren't you releasing a new widget? Well, we went to the factory and the factory said, we can't make the widget now. We have to wait till February. Oh, okay. So in February, I go to the factory with my widget and they make me 1 million widgets. And then I release it in March. So I think overall it was I won't say lackluster, but I only saw a couple things that blew me away, and compliments to one of the greatest people I know, Brian S. Red. Both things that I heard or saw, it was given to me by him first.
Sure, yeah.
The Adam Hall booth, those speakers, the powered tops, a 12 and a 15.
Oh, the Echoas.
The Echoas for like $299 and $349 sounded as good as my JBL PRX for $800 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah,
and then the coolest light I saw at the show was the Mega Light booth.
Yeah.
With the Acacia. What was it called, Brian?
Oh boy, the Circa. The Circa.
Circa?
Yeah.
The long lights that were like
Circa Scoop. Circa Scoop.
Circa Scoop. Those were amazing. Overall, there was really nothing new to write home about. I'll be honest. Pioneer DJ released a really dope mixer. We had a new standalone that we released in October. A company upstairs, starts with a D. They had a few new releases that were really cool. Saw those. They look good. As a DJ, I wouldn't have walked out of there saying, I know what I want to buy. Mm-hmm. Put it that way. I think a year or two ago when companies release like DDJ 1000, people went, I need to buy this.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't see
sure.
the I need to buy piece. What do you think, Brian?
Well, interestingly enough, I did see some things that I liked. I didn't see anything that's going to change my life.
That's what I mean.
But I had a good
Anything
show.
you buy?
Pardon?
Did you see anything that you said, I have to buy this?
Well, nothing new. I saw some things that I haven't yet acquired that I'd like to acquire, but I was aware of them before. But yeah, nothing that's going to change my life. I've kind of found the things that I feel like work really well for me. And unless I find something that's an improvement on what I have that works really well for me, I'm not going to mess with it too much. I did get some new ideas though, and that's fun. And I'm in a little different position than Jay's in, because Jay is pretty much chained to that booth, except for maybe lunch every day. Otherwise, you can't go anywhere. Where I'm like, I can do anything. I'm the social butterfly. I can run around everywhere and talk to everybody and do everything that I want to do when I want to do it at the show. It's just kind of like I'm a loose cannon there. I'm running all over the place. So I was able to see some cool stuff, and I was there for all 4 days, and I got 35 videos up on YouTube. I will tell you,
a ton of content.
Yeah. What I will tell you is this. I'll tell you what my most popular video was. Last time I checked.
V10.
No, that was the second most popular video. Was the Pioneer DJM V10, was the runner-up. That was the most popular video. But what beat it by probably about 400 or 500 views was the Chauvet gig bar move.
It's funny you bring that up. I wanted to mention that. I'm not a fan of the lasers anymore because I think the dots kind of upset photographers. But I think that light, I can see why it's going to do really well.
Yeah.
And you and I have had talks over the years, and I talked with Brian Dowdle, the amazing man from American DJ, about putting 2 moving heads on a telescoping bar that I could carry into the gig small and then telescope out.
Sure.
And I think they've kind of hit it with that. So I get why that's going to do really well. But, John, I think your next question may or may not be, should DJs all buy the same thing?
Actually, I was going to go a different direction, but that's a great question, because so many people were so hot and excited about that gig bar move. Is it going to give that same look that everyone has it?
Well, it goes back to the Mackie. What was the SRM 450s?
Oh yeah, yep.
When I first bought DAS powered speakers, I literally bought them because every DJ in San Diego that I knew that had powered speakers was using Mackies. And I thought it would be I sound better and different because I'm not using the same gear. So my question becomes, I get why DJs want this. It's compact. It's all together. It looks good. It's professional. A lot of lights going on. I love the multifacet of it. But does it make you look like every DJ in your market when every DJ in your market has the same freaking light show?
Yeah.
I see it like this. Just I won't take long on this. The gig bar is a very simple solution. And I feel like that when it gets down to the meat and potatoes of it, when we go to shows like NAMM and we see new products, yeah, we're looking for flashy, but what we're really looking for are easy solutions, or things to make our lives either better or easier, or make it a better experience for our audience. And where some DJs are, they like that. They like simple. They like lights going around a room. They like the jewel effects. They like the moving heads and the lasers. And that effect, I didn't even mention it in my video, but it has like 4 blinders built into the bar that just flash.
I saw that.
Now I am not, I am no longer a fan of lights in anybody's eyes.
Right.
I'm doing something different now, and I'm using a different product to achieve this. But not everybody's where I'm at, and they got a different idea about things.
I'm sorry.
And those who do have a different idea about things are going to really enjoy something like the gig bar move.
8 lights. Sorry. Cough. It's the weather.
Yeah, I hear there's been some phlegm issues down in certain
8 lights.
So 8 virus from China.
Yeah, I do believe it came across.
Kung Fu flu.
So sticking with NAMM, but just a little bit different direction here. Over the years, at one particular time, NAMM, you had to be either a merchant or media, and it was really about, or you had to be a performer.
Right.
Today, NAMM, I think even on Sunday, wasn't Sunday almost a free day for public if you basically showed up?
If it was, nobody came.
There was something.
Sunday was dead.
Sunday was supposed to be. If you spent $100, you could buy a ticket for $100 if you were just a person off the street in advance. $150 at the door, or the week of, and then at the door. I believe Sunday, I saw somewhere that they had advertised locally in Anaheim that it was a free for anyone to come in.
Jimmy's right. It's a German virus, by the way.
It's a German virus.
Oh.
The rest of them are usually Chinese viruses.
Yeah, this would be a German virus.
Chung baby.
Yeah.
Chung.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
as someone who's in a booth, did you see a change? Have you noticed a change over the last few years where having the public, in essence, in here compared to the dealers and media, is it changed how you guys handle the booth and how you handle the people going through the booth?
Yeah, it has. And I thought this year in particular was light. Like, I'm sure the numbers will say they're up, but I've done 16 NAMMs, and I would say the numbers were not up. And you could feel the economy change with NAMM change. My first NAMM in 2005, booths were giving away everything. Like, you walk in a booth and it was like, here's your bag with headphones, t-shirt, a blanket, $100 bill. I mean, just people went nuts.
Yeah.
And then over time, and we saw it at Mobile Beat and Expo and every other show, swag went from here's something substantial to you're lucky we're giving you a t-shirt, and in return, you got to give a drop of blood or something, you know? This year, I didn't see a big crowd on Sunday. Sunday's always historically been a quiet day. It always falls on a Sunday with a football game. It's tough to park. I put a picture up on Instagram. Sheridan parking was $18 when I got there. 2 days later, NAMM opened. It was $60.
Oh, wow.
That's the reality of going to NAMM. I stayed at NAMM from Tuesday to Monday, and I think my hotel room on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll say it was like $205. Thursday, Friday, Saturday was $395.
Yeah.
They pull the Vegas trick.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's something big in Vegas, everything goes through the ceiling. Anaheim's the same way. It's the biggest show of the year. But
no matter what, Disney's there. I mean, next door.
But that keeps that constant.
Yeah. So
there's everything there.
Yeah.
You know, but you've been there. Have you been there much before or after NAMM, where the middle, where the Hyatt or the Hilton and the Marriott are? There's that stage in the middle. Have you been there when that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen how the transformation of NAMM takes over. John, honestly, Sunday was not that impressive. I didn't see a big influx. I think the bigger issue for vendors and booths is every booth gets X number of passes, and the passes say the booth. So if you're an exhibitor, we can get in before everyone else because we have to set up.
Right.
The problem I've run into every day is it's 9 o'clock. I'm in the booth getting ready for a 10 a.m. Call. And all of a sudden I have 12 people in the booth trying to DJ. And I'm like, yeah, we're not open. Oh, it's cool. I'm with another booth. I don't care who you are. Get out of the booth.
Like, that's just poor
But
form.
how did they get in before opening? Because they have an exhibitor badge. That's the thing.
Yeah, like me.
Well, yeah, but you're different. I mean, you're
right. I know when to get out of the way.
Yeah.
You're gracious.
Yeah. And some people not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think the general public, I was fortunate. My beautiful wife and son came up this year.
Nice.
And
we got to tell that story.
Oh, I will tell that story. I know exactly the story you're talking about.
You got to tell that story. It's hilarious.
And it was amazing.
Hey, tell the story. Tell the story.
Colin, come here.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. We actually have.
This is my favorite. Yeah. This is my favorite story from NAMM.
I'm hanging out with my beautiful wife and my son, Colin. Colin, come here.
Come here, Colin. Come see Uncle Brian.
Live broadcast. Say hi to.
We're gonna talk about what your dad did to you at NAMM, and I still think it's terrible what he did to you.
So my beautiful wife, Michelle, come here.
Oh, gee.
Oh, she can't come here.
No.
Okay.
So Colin and my wife came to NAMM.
Right. Now just keep in mind, I'll give you some perspective here. Colin enjoys DJing. Colin enjoys music. Colin likes the same kind of stuff that Jay likes.
Yeah.
So just the prefix to this. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So we're outside having a bite to eat for lunch, and I say to Colin, hey, Slushy is in the booth. Do you want to go see him? And Colin goes, yeah, that sounds awesome. So my wife and Colin are there. I leave. I go to the booth. They come to the booth. They get in the booth. Slushy, the DJ, is playing. At which point, Colin explains to my beautiful wife, I thought Dad said we could get a slushie.
No slushies.
No slushies.
Just a person on stage, which I don't know who this DJ is. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. It was just kind of a fat, vague person.
It's a guy.
DJ. It's a guy. Okay.
But the handsome boy Colin over here goes, I
my slushie.
We could have a slushie.
This is bullshit. Who's this?
Yeah. Pretty much.
I don't know who this is. I want a slushie now.
I want out.
My sugary ice.
Colin, I gotta know. Have you gotten a slushie yet since NAMM?
No.
Dude, take this kid for a slushie. Come on.
Yeah. How many people are viewing this? Like 10, 12,000? I promise all of you, tomorrow he gets a slushie on the way to the gym. Tomorrow's our big workout at Planet Fitness. We've joined for the year. And tomorrow before our workout, so we can puke blue on the treadmill.
Okay, none of this vegan diet crap either. Sugar and just like gross from the gas station slushie.
Yeah.
Like that Kmart used to serve. This is
pressed apple juice.
Yeah, sure it is.
Pressed apple juice.
There's not enough.
No.
There's the sugar in there.
Thanks, Colin.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Bye, Colin.
Thank you, Colin.
Yeah. You thought I said, do you want a slushie?
Yeah.
Well, the funniest part was Michelle explaining this to me. Because it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I find
she thought the same thing. That's
the
best part.
She thought the same thing.
She's like, yeah, why would we want to go to slushie? And she's like, I'll go.
Yeah,
I'll have a slushie. What the hell is this?
Who is this person? Get them.
Yeah.
Plays EDCs and stuff, so you know what you can do.
Oh, great, good for him. But where's my slushie?
Yeah. I'd be interested to know, what did our viewers want to see at NAMM? Like, what do they think should have been announced that wasn't?
A couple of things actually that were up in the chat. One was wondering a new controller, and they were looking for a controller that is bringing in some of the features that we saw from upstairs. The ability to have a hard drive hooked up to the controller was one that somebody had mentioned.
That's valid.
Just there's some things on the Rain. Jason asked about if Pioneer's coming out with a mixer that is going to be competing with some of the Rain, the newer Rain control mixers. So
yes, I'm going to announce it here tonight. We have a new mixer. It's 18 channels. It has a built-in controller, 6
a slushie maker,
and a slushie machine. You got it out of me, John. You pried, and I gave in.
Yeah, and the slushie comes out of the headphone jack.
The headphone jack's a cup holder now.
Slushies. Blue and red.
Headphone. Yeah, the headphone's in the back now.
How awesome would that be?
It's an XLR headphone next to the XLR power supply and the XLR light and the XLR mic. So you get to pick. Try your best.
Oddly enough, and I was talking about the video views earlier that I posted. The stuff upstairs, the Denon stuff, that dare I say the D name.
Yeah.
Right. The stuff that people were really looking forward to seeing didn't really get a lot of momentum on my channel. There weren't that many people that interested in seeing it. So
I think there's a perspective in the marketplace, and whether fair or not, there's 3 categories: fanboy or girl, research buyer, and then newbie. And newbie is, you're being barraged. When I started DJing like you, Brian, there were the holy grails. There were like, you getting Technique 1200s, right? Which one? And I'll be the first to say, when I started, my first setup was the Denon 2000 Mark III dual CD DAC with a Rane 44 MPZ.
That's solid. It's very solid.
All day long. I had a Gemini 626 Platinum 3-channel mixer.
Yeah.
Bulletproof. Then I got into CDJs, and then I saved up and bought the DJM 3000. Everyone has their own channel. There are people that I've talked to and I respect who will say, I use this piece and this is why I use it and I love it. I don't care what you use. If it does the job you need it to do, then use it. I'm not here to sell you anything.
Here's what's odd. Here's what I think is just super goofy. When you really just kind of try to step back and look from the outside in as to what's going on here. What do? We play pre-recorded music and we turn lights on. That's what we do. We need equipment that allows us to play pre-recorded music and turn lights on.
Right.
All of this stuff has existed longer than I've been alive.
Right.
So all we're doing is looking for new ways to play music and turn lights on.
Right, but it's what and how you do it. I did a gig Saturday night, and they wanted a vibe. This is what they said to me. We need you to just do a vibe. Do a vibe. So I started with like Thievery, 07, Air, that kind of like 116 to 120 as they entered. Once they were all in the room.
You played Lola's theme.
God is my witness. I did. I'll send you the photo of me playing it. I'm not kidding you.
It's a shot in the dark, Jay.
I promise you. And I played the extended, like 8-minute.
Jimmy De Palma in the room is a big fan of Lola's theme now. He just discovered it and he loves it.
Oh my God, it's the greatest song ever. Yeah. Outside of I Remember by Deadmau5.
And Mara Luna too. He loves it too.
So they come over and go, okay, you can pick it up from here. And I go, so a little faster? They're like, yeah, you know, a vibe. And I'm like, deep house? And I quote, yeah, we like deep house. Done. 2 hours of 123 to 126. Just back-to-back mixing. During dinner, after dinner, just mix. So after about an hour of just instrumental deep house, you know, with the occasional, whoa, baby, whoa, but you know, that crap in the middle.
Right.
I'm like, screw it. Lola's theme. I remember the Sheba remix, Cascade. Like, I'm like, now I'm getting gutsy. Like, oh, let's try this. But the one thing I noticed, every track, I would adjust my tones a lot because the bass would hit a little hard. So I'd pull it down. I'd do this. And I think from an audience perspective, I looked like I was doing a lot. But as you say, we just need stuff that plays pre-recorded music. I think the gear that works best for you is what you're most comfortable with. I don't care what manufacturer you use. If it works for you, great. But do me a favor. Don't ever say you're better because of it. Like, you make the gear better. The gear doesn't make you better.
I think it's so... I can't imagine what goes on in these R&D meetings for these companies. I can't imagine.
I can.
To me, it's comical. You can make a cartoon about this, where it's like, well, let's see. What do these DJs need to do? They need to be able to speak on a microphone. They need to be able to play songs. They need to be able to turn lights on and off. Let's make products for them. Okay, let's make a controller. How about the microphones? Nah, don't worry about that. Okay, well, how about maybe an easy way to control the lights? No, let's make it hard. You used to be able to turn the light on and off.
You're not seeing the new trend, Brian, of 3.
You can't do that anymore. It used to look like this. Okay, just to give you some perspective on this. In the R&D meeting, I want to demonstrate this. Okay, in the old days, you did this. You pulled the switch.
He's left us.
Went off. Yep. Pulled again. Light came on. That's how it used to work. But now we've made it so you turn the light on. You got to wait 30 seconds for it to actually happen, which is better. Why? And let's make sure you continue to have to do that without learning binary code. That'd be a great idea. So let's go with that this year, guys. Have a great show.
Hey, by the way, good job, John. You got Brian to stand up on this show.
Stand up. He's ranting. Hush, he's ranting.
The cripple stand.
Wow. He's ranting right now.
I just blows my mind. I need good mics.
You barely walk. You made him do that? No,
you should have seen me dancing in the...
The meeting is exactly that.
You should have seen me dancing in the Pioneer booth this year. Dancing? I did dance in the Pioneer booth, Shay.
Oh, no, I saw the video.
I missed it.
You'll have to. I did a Pioneer fanboy
impersonation. What'd you call it? Chicken head?
Chicken head. Yeah, my chicken head video.
Dude, all freaking 8-10 hours a day. I got to see that. Yeah. Yep. 40 hours. 40 hours. I got to see
Next controller.
But here's the best part. And I said
it was really skinny and white too. Like the skinniest, whitest kids you ever saw in your life.
Wearing pajamas. Yeah. Wearing a onesie. But here's the weird perspective. When I first did NAMM, people walked in and messed with the gear and left. Now, people walk in with their own flash drive. They're like plugging their own like the chicken head guys. They plug in their own content. They do the 2-channel mix where it's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
My favorite was the chicken head guy who brought his chicken head friend. And they were both chicken heading together.
They're both freaking out.
Oh my God. I was standing there with Michelle. We were laughing at these guys. Yeah. While Slushy was doing his thing, these guys were doing their thing.
Oh no, that's the perspective. It's like, so the Instagram story post becomes, I opened for Slushy at the NAMM show. and I want to say this without, where's the camera? Right here? Right here. I want to say this with all sincerity. If you go to a show or a festival with a ticket and you're a DJ, please don't post that you played the show or the festival. I.e., I have a ticket to EDC. I'm a DJ. Don't put, I just played EDC because I went by a booth and went like this on a turn. No, you didn't play. People are like filming the whole time. This is where's my phone? This is my impersonation of the NAMM booth. You ready? What are they doing? Guys, get a girlfriend, get a life, do something.
Well, Joe brought something interesting up. How about a mixer with light control built in, DMX style but simple, and 2 full mic inputs? Well, Joe,
that'd be cool if it was American DJ from like 8 years ago.
Interestingly,
American Audio one.
Yeah, that's right. They had that.
Okay, but you guys have
MIDI
sound, your record box lighting, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's kind of that.
Yeah, you can MIDI. We have.
But we missed the mic inputs.
No, with the pads, you can do all that with the pads. You can MIDI map any controller to control DMX through MIDI.
If you're
I know what he wants. He wants it the same way American Audio did it, like literally 5 years ago, and no one noticed. Remember that rack mount they had 5 or 6 years ago? They had a rack mount mixer, and Brian Dowd was like, check it out. These 2 channels are just for lights. Like, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Went nowhere.
That was the same year they we talked about this. I think, was it last week we talked about this, or maybe a couple of weeks ago? That was the same year they had the white translucent VMS 4.1.
Yes.
Or maybe it was the VMS 5. But anyway, it was the glowing one.
Yeah.
One year, they brought a roll-up video screen. And I was like, holy shirt balls, what is this? And now nobody knows what I'm talking about. Like I dreamed it. No, it was there.
No, Brian, the more impressive was the year at Mobile Beat where they had the video mapping. Remember the mapping program?
The cake mapping, yeah.
Yeah, where they had the table, 2 scrims on speakers, and then behind they had 5 different images all being put on video. I thought, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's cake mapping now.
Right, and I've never seen it since.
Well, it's all cake mapping. I mean, that's essentially the same thing. The
problem was they put the camera in front, so at a wedding, you can't really, it's perspective. I'll be honest. Sorry, John. I know your next question.
No, we've got.
It's amazing how the industry hasn't really forwarded itself very much. Controllers came out about 10 years ago, and where are we today with NAMM? It really hasn't progressed as far as we thought it could or should have. I mean, our first controller with Pioneer came out in 2010. Here we are, 2020. Really, the hardware hasn't advanced that far. Is that your question, John?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, you're right.
Just gonna.
Brian's spitting caramel macchiato coffee everywhere.
No, I'm trying to just say I'm not going to talk and let John have a word.
I'm good. I'm watching the chat room here. We have actually a guy from that works with ADJ stuff, and he's in with us. Eric's with tonight, and he knows exactly what we're talking about, and that it never went into production. And Edgar had that screen, and he did some wrapped around a pole or something to demonstrate that at the shows, but never went into production. So
there's a lot of that, but they're ideas, and they just like to see what sticks sometimes at these shows.
Yeah,
let's see what the interest is in this. And when you have a company like ADJ, for example, they're for a while, not anymore, but for a while they were doing like 20, 30 SKUs a month. I mean, they were just constantly releasing things.
They were putting out a lot of products.
Yeah, it was like, holy crap. I mean, when I was doing, full-time demos for them, I didn't have room in my house for all this stuff. I'm like, are you kidding me? Stop sending me shit. I got too much stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. So maybe when we see something like a roll-up video screen or whatever, it might actually happen. Because there's not so many irons in the fire.
No, it's slowed down a lot. I mean, it really has. You can release 4 or 5 things at NAMM, but then where are you 12 months later? And are those things working as well as they could be? I'm not going to go into names, details, but the reality is sometimes what jumps at NAMM 3, 4, 5 months later still hasn't come to fruition. It hasn't shipped. I mean, I know it's a joke about not available in March, maybe May, but just because you show it doesn't really mean much.
Well, here's what I find interesting.
You have to back it up and then grow from that.
Just speaking of DJ equipment, when I think about some of the things that I feel like have been some of the most successful pieces that we've seen in the last, let's say, 5 years.
Okay.
It's not something that just kind of showed up one day and then like in 6 months they were talking about something completely different. I'm thinking about the Evolve 50, which to this day is still gaining in popularity. And it's been out for how long, John?
Yeah, we're in the second year of it now because the first year was the black, and then they came out with the white version last year.
So this will be 3 years come summertime, right?
Yeah, we'll be after Expo because they announced it or dropped it at Expo.
Yeah, and I had the sample in June of that year. So
I just used it in November, and I was amazed by it. I was absolutely amazed.
Well, how cool would that be, though, is what I'm saying. Is if more companies did that, they took the time to develop an amazing thing.
Right.
And instead of just saying to themselves, what to do next? Let's work on this thing. Let's just focus on this thing.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, I give...
The name of the game is to make money, and the name of the game is to sell products. So, I think the perspective, and this is what's so bizarre for me, we're all sitting here as I consider to be very knowledgeable, and everyone in the chat room is no different than you and I. We are DJs who are industry working professionals, and no one is coming to us in this realm and saying, what do you guys need?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you guys want? What's going to make your life better? People come to me on a daily basis on Facebook Messenger with like, hey, quick question. Do you like this? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And it all comes down to, you know what? I don't want to carry 85 pounds anymore. I don't want to guys come to me with like 2 turntables and a mixer and a coffin, and I'm like, dude, get a gym membership. Like, you're at 112 pounds before the case.
Those master classes they have on YouTube.
Oh,
I guess they're on
I love
YouTube.
The commercial ads, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to talk about.
Love.
Seen the one with Steve Martin?
Yes.
Yeah, where he says,
banjo.
Everybody wants to ask me, how do I get more bookings and how do I get my name out there? But nobody asks me, how do I be good? And it's like,
he's right.
Yeah, right there. Right there. And you could apply that to so many different situations. And
I think the perspective is always going to be, I want to know what you think, but the reality is, I'm really not going to listen.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that sounds hard.
I mean,
that's too hard.
I'm being honest. Like, what do you really want in a piece of gear, in a convention, in a wedding, in a whatever? And then when you're done talking, I'll take it all in and I'll say, you know what, Brian, that's awesome. Here's how we're going to do it.
And not like
I've already
that.
come up with a plan.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if you would confirm my idea.
Right. All I'm looking for is
confirmation of what I've already made my mind up.
By the way, if you agree with me, I'm right. And if you disagree with me,
You're
I'm still
wrong.
right. No, I'm right. You're wrong. You know,
Right.
That's the downside of industry.
Think about those products that have just been like staples. I mean, I know that Pioneer makes the PLX stuff, but the 1200, oh my God.
Staple.
I mean, staple. How old is this piece?
God,
I mean,
30 years?
Older than that. It came out in the late 70s. So it's over 40 years old.
40 years, yeah.
Over 40 years old. And
But
it's still a standard.
Do you have any handheld mics?
Shure SM58. I was
That's
just
what I
thinking
have.
about
Yeah.
that. You know, I've never owned one. I've never owned
have.
a Shure.
Really?
Yeah.
And here's the best part. My mic is 22 years old. I've replaced the ball on top like 4 times because it gets dented and looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
So for $6.95, you take it off, put the new one on. Here you go.
Well, every time that I talk to a company who makes a product like, oh yeah, this is our Shure SM58 killer right here. It's a better microphone than the Shure SM58. And sure enough, a year and a half later, I have to replace it with the next company that comes to me and says, ooh, this is the new Shure SM58 replacement. It's better than the Shure SM58.
You know, there are staples and standards. There is the 1200. There is the CDJ. There is the Les Paul. There is the Fender Strat. There is the SM58. There is the Fender Twin Reverb. There is the Marshall JCM 800 or 900 or just Marshall. There are standards in everything in music. The Stradivarius. Nobody has replaced that. They still talk about it.
They try.
Right. But it's even with technology, there's still a Stradivarius. The most valuable guitar is not the one made yesterday. It's the one made 60 years ago.
You want to blow everybody's mind? Make that piece as a controller or even a mixer. Just make it. Blow everybody's mind and make that piece.
If I had my way, 4-channel, because sometimes one may go, so you need the other 3 because you're only using 2. I love DJs that are like, I need 4. Yeah, well, send me the video. I'll tell you what, I got $100. Send me the video of you proficiently mixing 4 decks. I'll give you the $100.
Right.
You want 4 decks? I do, because if one goes, I can move to the next one. Give me 2 or 3 mics, 3-band EQ. Give me a zone. Give me this. I mean, there's a lot of things we all want. But when it comes right down to it, I get to the wedding. I use 2 mics for the ceremony, 1 for the rest of the night. I use 2 channels on Serato or Record Box. I mean, I don't need much, but I don't feel comfortable with 2 versus 4 because if something goes south, I always feel I can move over.
Yeah.
It's just like saying, hey, you can get rid of your spare tire
and save some weight.
Your car way less, and you'll save gas money. You know what? I'll take that hit. I'm okay. You know, I mean, the bottom line is this: shut up, stop talking, and start mixing.
I think that's
drive safe, everybody.
I think that's a good way to wrap up tonight's show.
Damn it! Is it over already?
Yeah, that it is. So,
well, it was supposed to be.
Go ahead, Brian.
Twice Brian's gotten up.
You work on that. Hey, if you guys were not aware, Jay and Brian are going to be in Las Vegas in February, February 24th through the 27th at the South Point Casino with Photo Booth Expo and the DJNTV DJ Convention. We're doing a big event there. There's going to be photo booth classes.
What are we doing there?
You guys are going to be the hosts in the DJNTV chill room. That's going to be your domain. People will come in there for the knowledge. It's going to be kind of like climbing that mountain and getting to the top and saying, you know, oh, wise one, please answer the questions of life. It's going to be excellent.
Just like this.
Pretty much.
Brian's still walking.
It'll only be better because Brian will have the Starbucks from down the hall. It'll be oh so awesome. So awesome.
Brian's opening a box now.
He's opening up. So more information about the show, go to djntv.com/show, or you can
Show Brian again. He's still doing stuff.
Yeah, he's people can see them. We're talking. He's doing, and then we'll get to his doing when he's done. If you want to get tickets and join us in Las Vegas, go to DJNTV.com/tickets. The promo code is DJNTV Show 2020. That'll get you the cheapest tickets. Tonight, Tuesday is the best time to buy airfare. Tuesdays are always the best for airlines. Cheapest is on Tuesdays. If you're going, if you're thinking about it, so I've talked to 3 people, Brian, Brandon earlier. They all bought tickets today, and all of them were at a really good price. I think most of them were under $200 for round trip air to Vegas and back. So check it out. Check the airfare out. You're past there. The hotel is at $69 a night. If you can find a friend, I mean, goodness gracious, if you can split that.
You can find a friend. Good luck with that.
Yeah, for some of us, we can't. But if you find someone to split, even if you don't, $70 a night, you can't knock that in Las Vegas. So check those things out. Brian, what do you got there? Are you about ready to display?
Just hold on a minute. I got one damn hand.
Ta-da! Oh, gosh.
Hold on. Ta-da! Yeah. Almost?
No, not yet. Not yet. We're going to have to, we need a longer drum roll. Wait. No, you're getting there. No, not yet. No, not now. We could. Are we going to have to continue this video until next week?
I think it'd be great if, in 2 weeks, we start the show the same way. Brian's still opening the box.
The box.
The moving head.
Tell us, this is from where? I don't know if we could see the box that clearly on video.
Oh, hold on a second. Yeah.
Oh, his video froze. Everybody's video froze. Uh-oh. That means that my video froze.
It's a single moving head.
There we go.
No.
What's the big deal?
It's little.
Yeah.
And it's my understanding.
Does it go to 11?
It goes to 11. It's also my understanding that it has an RF remote control.
Oh. On a moving head?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
So we'll have a look at that sometime this week. Of course, we only have one to look at, but it's a start.
Yeah.
Wow. RF control on a moving head?
I thought there were really 2 of them in the box. There's one. Yeah. Supposed to have a...
Where's the remote, Brian?
And yeah, there's an RF remote control in here.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
So, I got one more audio video I want to do this week.
Brian, do me a favor. Don't touch it again. And in 2 weeks when you do the next show, just act like you're still there, plugging it in and setting it up.
It's been a long 2 weeks.
Shout out to Jeffrey Kwan in the room.
Oh, hey, Jeffrey.
Join us the peace sign.
Jeffrey.
Thanks for jumping in there, Jeffrey, at the end here.
My boy Bill from Boston got the video wall from Jeffrey. Remember a couple years ago at Expo? Jeffrey knows. Bill Diorio. He's got the video wall he got.
Yep. Jeffrey's the man.
Jeffrey's
always a pleasure.
Canal Sounds.
Canal Sound and Light.
That's it.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for your sharing and helping those in need with your education tonight.
Thank you.
We'll catch you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.